Hi, in this video we're going to look at how we can work with images in Python. We saw in the last video that images are made up of a series of pixels, so the question is, how can we access these pixels in our programs, and once we access them, how can we manipulate them to display them in Python? So introducing Python images. Using Python images, we can load pixel level data for our images. With the pixel data, we can then manipulate the images. We briefly saw Python images a few modules back when we were looking at Python versus Carol, but we'll take a deeper dive into them in this lesson. With the image command, we can assign a picture using the image URL. We then add it to our canvas using the add command, similar to how we would add shapes. We can also adjust both the size and the position of images, again similar to how we did this with our shapes. To change the size, we pass the width and height, and to set the position, we pass the x and y coordinates. Let's take a look at the commands to get our pixel values. We will start with our image loaded from earlier using the variable img. Recall that the image is made up of individual pixels, and each pixel has a red, green, and blue value. To get at this information, we need to first get a pixel using the getPixel command and passing it an xy coordinate. That will return a list of values. The first value in the list is the red value for that pixel, ranging from 0 to 255. The green is the second value, and the blue is the third. Our pixel values follow the same structure we saw with the canvas. 0, 0 is the top left corner. As we move from left to right, our x values increase. We can use the image.getWidth to help find the maximum value of our image. Note that we subtract 1 since the width returns the actual size, but the index values go from 0 to less than the size. Similarly, we can see that the y values increase as we go down, and we can use image.getHeight to help find the maximum value of y. We can also update the values of each pixel in the image. Once again, we are using the img image from earlier. To update the value of the pixel, we use the setRed, setGreen, and setBlue functions, and then pass the xy coordinates along with the new values for that pixel. So what can we do with this? Using the pixel data, we can read in an image and update the values of each pixel to create our own web filters. So how are we going to do that? Well, let's take a look at some pseudocode for how our filters will work. We're going to use two functions. The first will be a standard function for each filter, and the second will be the actual filter. The changePicture function will loop through all of our pixels. It will then pass a pixel to our filter function. Our filter function will update the color values for that pixel and then return that new color. With the new values, we can then update the image with our new color. So let's take a look at how this works with a few specific filters in the editor. Okay, so let's take a look at some of these filters in the editor. We're going to start with our black and white filter, and we're actually going to start with a bunch of code that actually gets our picture running. So if we look now, we have our picture, but it's not black and white. We're using the image URL, we're setting the width and height, and we are adding that image to our canvas. So that's kind of where we're at now. We're having a little bit down here. Now we do have this timer set time out change picture, and what this is doing is it's basically saying let's wait a second before we actually call that method, and that really gives our image time to load on our screen. If we actually call and start to try to change the pixels too quickly, it doesn't work because it hasn't loaded on our screen yet. So let's start with our change picture, and this is going to be a generic function that we use in pretty much all of our filters. So what we want to do is we want to loop through all of our pixels. So we're going to say for x in range, and our range is going to be our image, so we're going to call it image.getWidth. So we're going to loop through the entire width, and inside of that loop we're going to have another y value loop. So for y in range, I'm going to say image.getHeight. Okay. and that's going to give us our values. Now, if each time in our loop, we're going to get a new pixel value. So we're going to say pixel equals image dot get pixel, and it's going to get the pixel at x and comma y. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to get our new color, and we're going to get that from our black and white function, and you can see it's passing a pixel. So we're going to say new color equals black and white, and we'll pass it that pixel. Okay, and now for black and white, we're actually going to have the same pixel value for all of our channel, red, green, and blue, and so we can actually just say image dot set red, and it's going to be x comma y, our position, and the new color is going to be the same for all of them. That's how a grayscale works, and we'll look at that in a second. So I'm going to just copy this down because we're going to use the same thing 3 times, and we're just going to change this to green and this to blue. Okay, so that's our change picture function. Now for this filter, for the black and white filter, we need to essentially come up with a color, and we can see here a black and white filter says compute the average red, green, and blue value, then set the red, green, and blue value to that computed average. Okay, so in here, we're going to say our new color is going to equal the sum of these 3 pixels. So we're going to say pixel 0 plus pixel 1 plus pixel 2. And that's going to take the sum of our red, green, and blue channel. And then we want to do integer division on that, divide by 3, so we get our average. Okay, and so that's our value there. Then we can just return that new color. Okay, so that should be it, and let's give that a run and see what happens. And there we go. After 1 second, turn to gray. Alright, so let's take a look at a Brighton filter. Now we're going to start off with the same change picture function, although you notice that it's a little bit different now. Our new color when it comes back is actually going to be a tuple of our red, green, and blue channel, and so we're kind of passing that in by looking at the index values there. We also have a couple more constants up here. We have our brightening factor that we're going to use in our Brighton filter, and our max pixel value, which is 255, and we're going to use that as well. Otherwise, it's the same. We have our change picture function waiting a second to load. Okay, so let's take a look at our Brighton filter function. We're essentially going to create a tuple of new colors. Okay, and so we're going to return those new colors. So we're going to say return new red, new green, and new blue. Okay, and these values we're going to say new red is going to equal our Brighton color. We're going to take that function right there, and we're going to pass it our red pixel, which was pixel 0. Okay, and likewise we're going to do the same idea for each of these here. So I'm going to just copy that down. So our new green and our new blue are going to just be indexed up 1. Okay. So now how do we get this brightening factor? Well, basically it's right here. If the value is over 255, set it to 255. Otherwise, we're just going to brighten it. So we're going to say return the minimum of 255, or our value that we passed, so this color value here, color value plus our brightening factor, which is right here. Okay, so again, it's going to take the color added to the brightening factor, and if it gets over 255, it's just going to return 255. I'm just going to do that for each of our 3, then pass them back, and then we can take them out, parse them out, and create a new color. So let's give that a try. And there we go. It brightens it up. Okay, and our third filter that we're going to take a look at is a saturation filter. And the way the saturation filter works is basically you have a color threshold. If the value of it is higher than that threshold, you take the value to the max, and if it's lower, you take the value to the min. So we're going to start off with about a lot of the same code we had in the past. So again, we're going to be returning the tuple, so we have the same change picture function. Now this time, our saturation filter is using similar code to what we had last time, so we're going to start with that here. Our new red, green, and blue channel is just calling the saturated color function, and we're going to create that function right now. So again, basically we're taking our values and we're going to either return the max value or the min value depending on whether or not the original value is above this color threshold here. So we're going to say if color value is greater than the color threshold, then I'm going to say return my max color value, else I am going to return my min color value. Okay, and that's it. And again, using all the same kind of function that we had before, should get it. So let's take a look here. And there's our saturated picture. Okay, so now it's your turn to play around with these filters, and then you're going to create some of your own.